Alright, hey, what's up, Lawn Kids? Welcome back to another episode here at Lawn Kid Headquarters. Now, I hope you're really excited about this one because we're actually going to be messing with the lawn today, getting it prepped, getting it to look better for Halloween. So please stick to the end. I hope you enjoy. Alright, so here's the way my lawn looks, present day, 2016. So here are our battle areas. Right here, right here. So in order for me to give you a better visual of what things look like, I need to go ahead and get her cut first. Because she is a little bit long and ragged, so let's go ahead and do that. Alright, hey, what's up, guys? So here we are, present day. I'm actually editing the video right now, so I want to talk to you about something. So the whole reason I'm doing this whole rehab is because these are areas that are down closest to the driveway. Now, the reason those areas are a big deal is because that's where everybody walks, right? And so what has happened is I've had a lot of good growth there. Like, I've had good grass all throughout the summer, but from all their foot traffic and the lack of rain we've had over the summer, it's just caused that area to completely compact, and all the existing grass there was just turning into a thatched layer. So as you can see here from a shot I took that day, you can see the area is just completely laid over. There's a lot of brown areas going on. Now, most of that's some grubs and stuff too. In fact, I'm going to be doing that next weekend. I got to take care of that. I just wanted to show you guys how you can take areas like that and make them look beautiful by the end of the year. Sorry for the interruption. Let's get back to the real episode. Alright, so the materials you're going to need throughout this video is going to be your lawnmower with bag, your chosen grass seed. I went with Scott's Water Smart, the fall mix, because depending on the time of year, some Milorganite, some Patchmaster, a rake, and a pitchfork. Now, what's with the rake and the pitchfork? Well, let's just say you want to watch all the way to the end of the video to find out. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to give this area here nice heavy raking. Try and get all that thatch and garbage from the bottom out and exposed to the top. So when I go over it and mow, I make sure that I get every last bit of the grass so I don't end up with any problem when we go to seed later on. Alright, so as I mentioned earlier, you're going to need a rake for this, because what we're doing here is we're trying to rake all the thatch out of here, so that'll help us when we do our future seeding here. So I recommend you buy a thatch rake. It looks kind of like this. It has these metal rods at the end that are a little bit flexible. Don't get the plastic ones. I've used the plastic ones. They don't work as well as the metal ones do. Just get any rake you can that can dig down there and get the thatch out within probably a minute or so. This rake here was about $8. I got it at Home Depot. Totally worth it. I'll leave a link in the description below if you want to go check them out. Keep the extra. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. Nope. It's a customer of mine. It's been my dad's best friend for years. Pretty awesome working with people like that. Alright, so we've gotten all the primary garbage out of there. We've mowed the lawn down to 2 inches. Now let's rake a little bit deeper at this point. We got all the stuff at the top raked up and mowed down. Now we need to rake a little bit deeper and get the thatch layer completely out of there, so when we seed, it's not going to choke out our seed like I've mentioned earlier. Just look at all this. This was all in there. Isn't that crazy? Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and end day one right there. You can see the sun is setting over there. Looks pretty nice to look at, to be honest. And so yeah, I'm going to go ahead and end day one right here, and we're going to pick up where we left off tomorrow. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and end day one right here, and we're going to pick up where we left tomorrow. So with that, I'm Jake the Lawn Kid, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Alright, hey, what's up, along? It's the next morning now, so we're on a Sunday, September... You know, I really know. I'll flash the date right here. So either way, where did we leave off? So what I did is I went ahead and I cut the areas down to about 2 inches. I raked any thatch that was stuck in there. And then after that, I went ahead and did something that I shouldn't have done. That is this right here. Look at this. Look at how bad that looks. I mean, just look at that right there. Look at how bad that looks. Regular cutting height, about 3.5 inches, and then 2 inches. So what I did in the other 2 spots is I cut them down pretty low because that's going to help us later on when we put our seed down. So I went ahead and raked out any thatch over there. So I decided, you know, I got this big area over there that's got the same problem. It could work, and then you know what? Of course it didn't work. For now, it just looks like a pile of crap. I don't even know why I did it, because I don't even think I'm going to have enough product. But that's not the spot we're concerned about. We're concerned about these 2 spots over here. Any remaining product I might use over there. I might film that, I might not. I'll let you guys know. But other than that, I'd say we're ready to work. Alright, so now this step is all about aerating the lawn. Now, good thing I have a small area to worry about. I don't really have to rent out an aerator. What I would do is I would just get a pitchfork. Just like this, you could find these pretty much at any hardware store. I got this one at Home Depot. Either way, that doesn't matter. But you can get one of those pitchforks, and what you can do is you can walk in a grid in the area you have to aerate and just simply poke it in the ground 3 inches deep. Now, the way I like to mark that is I like to get a tape measure, measure the 3-inch mark, and then put a piece of tape there. And then once I jam it into the ground, I get to the bottom of where the tape is, and that tells me that I'm deep enough. Then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to wiggle the thing a little bit, because you want to get those holes as open as possible, because this area has been suffocated by thatch and crap pretty much for a couple years now. We need to go ahead and loosen this ground up to open it up to sunlight and allow more growth to go in when we put our seed in. Alright, so here's some step-by-step instructions. So what we're trying to do with the pitchfork is we're trying to allow the ground to relax, basically breathe. We got all this thatch on there from the winters and all that's doing is suffocating the plant. So if we can get underneath the thatch layer, that's going to allow the ground to breathe and relax. So all you're going to want to do is stick the thing in the ground about 3 inches deep, wiggle it like 5 or 6 times. Wiggling it, that'll allow the holes to get bigger. Remember, the bigger the holes, the more relaxed the ground will be. And plus, that'll be a lot better when we put our seed in, because we're trying to get the seed underneath the thatch layer, because that's how it's going to grow. So all you do, just dip it in the ground, wiggle it, and do the whole thing across the entire area. Now, I don't recommend you do this for your entire lawn, but if you're treating a small area, this is the way to go. Alright, now that I've got all the holes dug out, now it's time to put the grass seed down. Alright, so there's not a lot I'm going to tell you about this part, but the only thing I'm going to tell you is...
It's grass seed, it's cheap, throw it down.
It's only going to help. So when it comes to grass seed, there's not really a lot of procedure you have to follow. Just throw it down like you're feeding chickens or feeding birds with bird seeds. It's very easy. Just kind of put it in your hand and lightly sprinkle it on the ground. Make sure you get a nice even application. You don't want any areas growing larger than other areas. So keep that in mind and you should be fine. Alright, remember, this right here, this is the coverage that we want. We want it across the entire area. Again, keep it as consistent as you can. Won't hurt a thing. So yeah, that right there, that's the coverage that we want. Alright, so once you got your seed down, now what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and rake it in real hard. So we got to try and rake some of this seed under the ground a little bit so it doesn't get stomped on. We also want to get it under there to get some seed to soil contact in there. We at least want to have soil touching the seed, ideally on both sides. You can get rough with this stuff. You can rake it. Just remember, don't bury it too deep. Okay, time for Milorganite. Alright, so essentially what we're trying to do here is we're trying to introduce some organic matter into the areas we're going to seed. Now while I was at it, I went ahead and fertilized the entire lawn, as you can see here. And there's nothing wrong with that. It won't hurt the lawn one bit because it's an organic. It'll break down nice, won't burn anything if you over apply. So I went ahead and put it over the whole lawn. Now some of you may ask, Jake, is there any need for a synthetic boost of starter fertilizer? Now that depends if you're dealing with a disease like lawn rust, which is pretty common this year. And as you can see, I don't really need that synthetic boost because I don't really have a lot of disease problems this year, because as you can see, my lawn is looking nice, green, and lush from this view, baby. Alright, now lastly, it's the Scott's Patchmaster. So what the Patchmaster is going to do is it's going to help the seed stick. It's going to hold the seed in the ground to help prevent any water or anything from causing the seed to run off the lawn. Now it's very crucial that you put this down the right way. It's recommended that you put it down a ½ inch thick, no thicker. Because if you go too thick, what's going to happen is it's going to choke your seed out and it's not even going to grow. So remember, ½ inch thick. Even thinner would be recommended too. Alright, now we're on to the Scott's Patchmaster. So basically what Patchmaster is it's recycled newspaper, and what it's going to do is it's going to help our seed stick to the ground. In other words, it's going to help prevent the seed from running away from any runoff that we might get later on in the process. So there's a certain rate that I mentioned earlier you have to apply this at, and that's a ½ inch thick. Now it's very crucial because if you apply it even thicker, what can happen is it can choke your seed out, and the seed won't grow in those choked out areas. So one quick word about Patchmaster, and that is that the packaging comes in big chunks. So you really got to break it down once you get it on the ground. Now the way you do it is you just take a big chunk out of the packaging, put it in the area you're going to cover, and then just move your hands in a fluid motion over it, breaking the Patchmaster down into tiny chunks, and then just keep rubbing it down until you get to the ½ inch border you want to be at. After you've ensured that you've covered your entire area with Patchmaster at the ½ inch rate, what you're going to do is you're going to walk around with a thatch rake, like you see me holding here. I've been using this throughout the video. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk around and look for big chunks. And if I see any big chunks, basically I'm just going to rake them down till they break down to little chunks like the rest. This will ensure that I've double checked that my area is completely covered and that no areas are going to be choked out later in the process. Okay, lawn kids, all done. I gotta say, I'm pretty tired from that. But either way, let's check a few things out. So here, I got the Patchmaster down. Now, a good way to tell that you have a perfect application, that you're less than a ½ inch thick, is if you could still see your grass seed underneath. So like you could see seed right there. I'm all good. So yeah, watering pretty much is going to be every day, 15 minutes in the morning and in the evenings. And I'm going to do that by hand because I don't want to use a sprinkler, which will kind of push everything off target. So got to be gentle here, got to keep everything in place.